Early access roadmap. Content update. Additional buildings and upgrades. Side missions, scenarios. Ooh. Settler behavior and expeditions. That's already in the game? Damn. So, as we can see, expeditions is a thing that's already also in Endzone. It's also in Endzone. I haven't played it in a bit, so. It opens the browser anyway. Yeah, I think the web page has been around forever, right? So let's start the timer. We've got 1 hour to check out Endzone. Nice. Cool. So, music is a bit loud. Radiation sound effect. I'm not sure if we want that. Maybe we'll have to tune that down later. You're liking the music? Cool. User interface can be scaled up or down. I'm gonna go to maximum for your viewing pleasure, and we can check if it has glitches if you increase it that far. Okay. What was that? Camera what now? Camera animations. I will see if we like that. Welcome to the early access of Endzone. New game. Follow Arthur Sorchin's instructions and obtain important clues and useful information about survival in the merciless world of Endzone, a new world apart. There are scenarios. The Bet. A long summer. New Hope. Okay, challenge scenarios. In survival mode, you can configure your game according to your own needs without pursuing a global goal. Create a huge settlement or fight against a challenging environment. Anything's possible as long as you survive. Yeah, and the game's interface is tiny. We're gonna do the tutorial. Not sure I've done that. I think I played Sandbox last time. So the similarity of how the game start looks.
We finally left the Endzone. Just look at this beautiful scenery. It's marvelous, even though it's a bit different from what we had pictured. We were able to secure a few basic resources and are storing them in our bus.
I didn't expect voiceover. I wanted to not talk over the voiceover. It's curious how similar it looks, right?
I'm glad we prepared ourselves well for this kind of scenario, especially since our inventories in the Endzone ran low. Don't forget that if you need additional information, you can look at our survival guide at any time.
Yeah, how about voice over 100, music like, I don't know, 50? I really appreciate the different sliders. Pause, fast, default fast, fastest. More money. Right, we control the camera with WASD. We can zoom out very far. And turn it around like this. So camera controls are good. Open the survival guide. Ooh, all the information. Tasks can be used to assign freely available settlers to gather specific resources or remove radiation in a certain area. Only settlers who do not carry out any activity will perform such. The only exception to this is the task remove radiation. Up to 4 settlers can work on a single task. So remove radiation will pull people from anywhere. I bet. Yeah, right? Similar things can happen.
Well done. Everything you need to know should be right here. I think the time has come for us to at last build ourselves a new home here.
And let's check. We've got water, food, wood, scrap, tools, radiation protection, medication, cloth, metal, plastic, electronics, and charcoal. And we've got children to eat. Oh no, wait. They become adults. And there's a timer on when that's going to happen. Until they are adults, they do transport food and water to their homes. So they are not running around building tree forts like in the other thing. You see here how many professionals and unassigned workforce you have. Average health of all the settlers, average confidence, and radiation. Not eating. Okay. Maybe they don't taste them. Our boss wreck. You can build, and repair. Next scarf. What? Oh, limitation on protective clothing. I was about to say, why does the bus need a neck scarf? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so if you click on the bus and you have no idea what it is, you can click on the question mark and then you get to storage. It's a form of storage. Cannot produce anything, so you can't deactivate that. And it's not hooked up to a power grid. You can report bugs if you click on the bug. Well done. Okay.
Before we can construct buildings at all, we have to assign the profession builder to several settlers so that they can take care of construction contracts. In general, it's your responsibility to decide which tasks are important and how our settlers are supposed to be distributed to attend to them.
Yeah, to assign the profession builder, not the profession builder. He does not build professions. He's a comma makes all the difference. Okay, we assign professions. Okay. We do that behind my camera. Reduce my self-importance a bit. User interface all over the place. It's because it's big and I'm tiny. I could well sit here, right? But I'm more comfy if I don't float around. Assign a profession. Builder. Maximum.
All right. Your builders will be ready as soon as construction contracts have been issued. It's time to start focusing on our key and most basic need, water.
Water. I already made a mistake. I can't have them all build because we need some people who transport stuff. Simon, you've got a fancy mask. He's a young adult. Potential new workforce. If they are provided with a suitable place to start a family, they try to find a partner to grow the population. I thought they would try to find a partner to fall in love. Why would they find a partner to grow the population of the settlement? That doesn't make any sense.
The first thing we ought to do is to establish a working water supply. So we'll move on to our first construction contract. Place and build a jetty by a lake in the vicinity of your town center.
A jetty? Is that a fancy word for, well... I didn't understand. Oh, a jetty. Now I know what a jetty is. Return of the jetty. Okay, we've got a grid placement grid, and we've got the connect thing in green. So that means the blue stuff needs to be water, right? Yay! A jetty! Build a jetty! We've got one building of this type. We've got a season. No rain currently, that's correct. I don't see any rain. There's terrestrial radiation. It's going to be covered in the tutorial later. Okay, let's run the game at regular speed. As we can see, people walk around at regular pace. Francesca, right? With your... They look super creepy with their masks on. You can click on the picture to zoom to the person on the map. Yeah, we need to invent whips. That's too slow. Build a jetty. Let's fast forward.
Very good. The jetty was completed as planned. Now we have a place where we can collect water. There are other possibilities to gather water too, but the jetty is the simplest and most cost-effective method.
Got it.
We can obtain and store water from different sources, like a jetty, rain collector, or well in the cistern. The cistern should always be in close proximity to a water source, so that our water carriers don't have to walk too far.
But it's a return of the jetty sisters, so it's not like Anno at all. A sister collects and stores water. That's what sisters do. I was misinformed. It requires a jetty. Jetties and wells are preferred to rainwater collectors when water is collected. Okay, it does not need to be built next to it though, right? Reminds you of Anno. Radiation! Now they bring out the shovels and dig up the radiation. That's what they do. Everybody's coming, digging up the radiation. And that's for breakfast tomorrow. Radiation sand. Om nom nom. Okay. So, build the thing. Oh, assign settlers to carry water, huh? 2 of them maybe. For now. Dun, 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 dun. Now we've got 2 water carriers. Fill it up. It has a production limit of 90,000. That means you can put 90,000 units of water in this. Wow. You can activate and deactivate sources, change the field of work, and demolish it. Cool. The user interface is not as neat as it was in Survive the Aftermath. I feel like this game is more involved, a bit more complex. We'll see. Might just feel like it. But they are very, very, very similar. I like the idea that there might have been a bet. Something that's thrown out. I know why the French try to protect their language, because everybody's butchering it. Jeter. Yeah, you can team up with Chris. PK, you can team up with Chris. So currently we have 1 more settler to assign here.
Great. We have now installed a working water supply, and water is now transported from the jetty to our
Jetty.
cistern. Consider hiring more water carriers if you don't have enough settlers available. You can never have enough water in storage.
Yes, I can. 90,000 is the limit, idiot.
Now we should focus on food production. It's important to ensure the supply right from the start. A gatherer's cabin, a hunting lodge, or a fishing hut can directly remedy the situation. I suggest starting with a fishing hut, since we're already located near a lake.
You are so clever, Arthur. It's mind-blowing. Build a fishing hut. B for build. F for food. Fishing hut for, yeah. So, C. How to place it. Oh no. Yeah. We got it. Digging up some radiation. Do it. More wood, people. There's a lot of scrap here. Are they all sleeping in the bus? In shifts, probably. Hey, we need fishers. 2 of them. And now we need to produce 50 food. The word. Homeless. Oh no, I didn't realize they wouldn't all fit into the bus. Thought they were happy there. We saw them happy there. Oh.
Good work.
My fault.
We've now taken care of our basic supply via food and water. Make sure that you have enough food and water on hand at all times, especially if you want to upgrade your settlement. A population that grows too fast can quickly unbalance your food and water supply, bringing major difficulties for you if you don't watch out.
Difficulties like cannibalism, exile.
Crops are another excellent way of getting food because they constantly grow as long as the soil is moist enough. Each seed has different yields and growing times. This means that it could take some time until your field is ready to be harvested, in contrast to your fishing hut, where production can be right away.
Yeah, which is completely not correct, right? Fishing takes forever, and they never bite. Everybody. Cultivated field. Without construction cost. Free food! What? Okay. This looks like... Oh. Listen. Oh, you click and then you... Oh, okay. 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 Remove the radiation very quick. Now we got 2 farmers. So, how about we have 1 fisher, 1 farmer, 1 water carrier, and less builders? Like 2 builders, 3 builders. 2 of these guys each. Seeds from the field, okay. Current seed, none. Next seed, none. Choose bell peppers. That's an interesting first choice. Cabbage. Cabbage kids.
Looks good. Remember that we need the widest variety of food sources to stay healthy. You should also plan ahead for drought periods that might come when it's not going to rain. Stock up on food and adapt your production to avoid bottlenecks. I'll show you a few more strategies later on.
Okay, regular speed makes rain
At
look
the
better.
beginning, we don't have much scrap wood or other resources. We could build a production building, but to obtain resources as fast as possible, it's best that we start gathering right away. Assign a Gather All Resources task. All the settlers who haven't been assigned any profession by you are going to accept these kinds of tasks. In addition, settlers distribute resources within your settlement.
Crowd incoming. Let's do it. I like this system here, the worker placements. This? Homeless? Tasks. I've got 4 settlers available. Can't make them collect our resource. Place tasks. Tasks. Resources. Logistics? Tasks. Okay, that was not super intuitive, but now that I know it's buildings and tasks, it makes more sense. So we're supposed to gather some scrap. And a whole lot of wood. Okay. Eat it, your turn. I don't follow. Oh, let them go scrap things. Faster. And this seems to be focusing a bit more on the simulation and a bit less on the game factor.
Since we now own plenty of resources, we can start to build a real production building. Then you don't have to always make efforts by hand that collecting is taking place. Production buildings are not only easier to manage, they are also distinctly more effective than simple tasks. Don't place production buildings too far away from your settlement. You'll be able to change their working area at any time later on. Right on. The best thing for us to do now is to build a forester's lodge to automate our supply of wood and make it more effective at the same time. Foresters are not only able to chop down trees, they reforest areas with trees as well.
The forester's lodge. So if you send them collecting, they just cut down. If you build a forester, he reforests. That's probably not. But you could combine both of those. Okay, we don't have any free. Settlers, we do. So we remove this task now. No, that's always been the case.
You might want to change this building's working area later on to tell your workers where they should get their wood from. Ah, and for your information, if you want, you can also tell your forester's lodge that they only ought to attend to reforesting an area in order to create a lush, green forest which generations to come can use.
It's always been lower sound volume on my stream. But I can check if the microphone had a recent change, because that sometimes happens for no reason. Yeah, it changed again. Sorry about that. I think usually it was this loud, the microphone. Some games, mostly Windows itself, I don't know why, I have no clue. It randomly, seemingly randomly, resets my microphone's volume. Is it better now? But it has always been the case that my stream is seemingly lower volume than others. Yeah, I don't need to blame it on Windows. I know it's Windows. And last thing, it was a game also. Ghost Recon Wildlands went ahead and was like, we use voice in our game, so let's adjust your system-wide voice volume for you. I was super pissed off. So, good job. You might want to change this building's working area later on to tell your workers where they should get their wood from. And for your information, if you, not for my distraction or anything, if you want, you can tell your Foresters Lodge that they only ought to attend to reforesting an area in order to create lush green forest which generations to come can use. Oh, this is a bullshitty tutorial. I don't appreciate that too much.
Now we ought to take care of collecting scrap. Scrap is one of the most valuable resources because the quantities present are limited, and we can recover other resources from scrap. Unlike the task we just had, the scrap yard allows larger quantities of existing scrap to be dismantled than with ruins or wrecks.
Okay, it's limited, and if you build a scrapyard, larger quantities of the limited scrap can be dismantled than with ruins or wrecks? That does not make any sense. Who wrote that? Oh god, I regret picking the tutorial. Man, it's annoying. Okay, so we build a scrapyard. We don't want it too close to the buildings because people hate noise, but yeah. Build it. Quick. Yeah, it's nice that he talks, but he talks super slow and there's a lot of redundant text in there. And he does not build up a lot of atmosphere, surely. It's like, oh yes, look at the trees. The trees are friends. It might be me getting hungry as well. Okay, so... two scrap collectors.
You can change the working area for the scrapyard too. We can recycle scrap into 4 additional resources: cloth, metal, plastic, and electronics. We'll do that shortly. But for now, we ought to take care of your settlers' needs first. Our people want a place to sleep and live. Cabins fulfill their need for safety and privacy, and increase the confidence of their inhabitants. In other words, building cabins increases their willingness to start families and reproduce, if you know what I mean.
No, where's the button? Explain. Reproduction. Your settlers get older and eventually die of old age. That's not what reproduction means, though. Children can become adults. I've never seen that feature in any other game. Settlers who live in a house start a family. Aha! Now we're talking. Settlers who grow too old become infertile. They can also lose the ability to reproduce when they are highly contaminated with radiation. That was seriously, that was reproduction, if you know what I mean. You know. God in heaven. I mean, oh man, that is so bad. Obviously, it's nothing that makes me stop playing a game like this, but how the hell would you put Arthur in charge of explaining reproduction? Oh, I'm suffering here, people. I'm suffering. Let's do it, Arthur. You might be too old, since we learned that just now. The game has fertility as a stat, not soap. Like in Life is Hard. Oh. Human reproduction is complicated. Build a cabin. No, build 8 cabins. That's a lot. This issue. Out of storage. Housing. Reproduction. Okay, so they want to live there. Grid-based building is the best thing. Build it. Do we have 3? We've got 3 builders. We could have 5 though. Nice. Okay. I'm supposed to build 8 cabins, really. Okay, cool. So yeah, it is relaxing. You can turn the camera with Q and E also. That's neat. So the only bad thing I found about this game up to this point is that they are really not good at putting the reproduction thing into a framework. Stop blinking. Get on with it. It's cool how fast it is if you go for fastest. Brrr, done.
Stop. Hammer time.
Go on, do it. Do it.
Besides cabins, you can also provide sturdy houses and shelters as housing. Sturdy houses withstand sandstorms better and have an increased storage capacity to boot. Children living in houses gradually fill up the house's stockpiles. Settlers do not reproduce in a shelter because they lack privacy.
I can't click on reproduction now. God damn it. Life is Hard made it so much easier. You just click on the heart button where people love each other and then you decide who loves who. And you combine very effective perks. So it's a breeding program. Thanks, Podrix, for explaining it like in this very nice way that you did it. You'd usually be all over indie builders like Banished or Surviving Mars. Something bad. That is something bad.
Let's return from our excursion into housing and refocus on scrap. With the help of a recycler or refinery, scrap can be sorted into 4 different resources. A recycler always takes scrap apart, one resource at a time, while a refinery automatically produces all 4 resources. To start off, you should build a recycler and produce cloth.
But Aventinus Pathfinder is not the guy who's talking to us. Oh, well, okay. Early access. I don't care. So what does this building really do? It produces scrap. But wasn't it explained earlier that it does different things to just collecting it? This ruin requires a scrapyard. Scrap piles can be salvaged by people walking around. That's what they failed to describe correctly earlier. I had a hunch that that was the case, but yeah. Okay. As a recycler takes scrap into one resource in a time, and a refinery produces all four. Why should I need a recycler then? If I want to focus on a specific type. Environmental reproduction supporting features. Cool, that should be in the dictionary. Hills, also known. Right, so someone needs to be working here. We don't have someone, so we have fewer builders now. Right, we've got a recycler. Cloth, you can change it. Ah, okay, so you okay. That's a nice system. You can change the production from the conversion from scrap to something else. At night time, working hours are only half as efficient. Do I smell a bit of frostpunk? Maybe. Right, now what are we waiting for now? We want to wait until there's cloth. 4 pieces, okay. Piggies? Piggies! They didn't write pig. Cue ball. Yeah, I'm in the tutorial. That's all right. I'm doing a game discovery marathon today. I'm not really planning to learn all about the game today, but thank you for your addition. Additional knowledge provided there. I'm gonna spend another 22 minutes. The parrot is counting it down. I'm gonna spend another 22 minutes on discovering this game, and it's more about getting an idea of what it does. But I'll remember that. It has some cool features going on with the production, I think. So welcome to the chat, welcome to the stream. That was a heavy drought. The whole water is gone. The whole lake. Just in a matter of 2 days. Alright. So
you can instruct your recycler to produce a different resource at a time. It's important that you focus on the resources you really need, at least in the beginning. Cloth and metal look like good options if you want to equip us with protective clothing and tools.
I don't want to equip you with protective clothing and tools.
Happy settlers are industrious settlers.
Oh, he's back.
That's why we ought to look after our people and protect them against the surroundings and dangers, like radiation. So let's start by transforming our newly recovered cloth into protective clothing. A tailor will be able to help us with that.
Okay. Switch to metal. We've got 12 cloth and no metal, so we can do some metal now. Now we're gonna build Taylor. Here. Or maybe where it's a bit more chill. Cue Ball, if you want to check out what games I discovered already, we've got 2 commands that you can use. ! marathon shows you which games I already looked at today and yesterday. And also last weekend. We did another game discovery marathon last weekend. You see the list of games and a short opinion of my person towards the game. And if you enter ! discovery, you see the list of games I already checked out on stream over the last 3 years. Most of them have a link to the highlighted Twitch video. So you can get a look at a lot of different games, really, if you want to. Obviously, I'd like you to to stay and watch this for a bit, since you already you know the game already. I have questions for you in a minute. I just wanted to get this tutorial bit with the Taylor out of the way. That's a cool sound. Okay, you can put up to 2 Taylors to work on. Next scarf, activated carbon masks, radiation suits. Oh, let's start with scarves, huh? I need other resources for these here. Charcoal? Yeah, charcoal. For filtering. Okay. It's more about I'd actually ask you more about your opinion on the game's state and its potential. I'm not going to ask you any gameplay questions. That does not make too much sense to me at the moment. But did you enjoy it so far in early access? Have you been following it from the beginning? Maybe. I think we can demolish that. Forgot to do that. There's a gathering task we had still going here. Storage capacity is maxed at 500. We're not at 500 yet. That's gonna be alright. Creating metal apparently takes a bit of time. Oh, you can already see who's working there. Oh, nice. Now, this goes more into the direction of Banished when it comes to complexity compared to Surviving the Aftermath, which we checked out yesterday. Very similar in some ways, but in other ways it's not very similar. That's probably all dead. All the cabbage. Serves me right. Start with cabbage, get a drought. Boo. And down in reforest, I think, is a good job at the moment. Not a necessary one though. So reduce it to 1 forester.
We categorize environmental radiation into 4 levels: no radiation, low level, medium level, and high level radiation. The radiation changes constantly and is influenced by weather and contaminated rain. Protective clothing helps to protect us against this kind of radiation, but it takes a while before it's produced. And production relies on a steady flow of incoming resources. Try to establish production chains at an early stage and start to stockpile goods so that some are always on hand.
Yes.
The tools we brought along from the Endzone are slowly but surely running out. So now, let's focus on manufacturing new tools. The tools will help us to work effectively. We'll need metal for that, so we'll prepare for production by building another recycler, which we'll commission to recover metal from scrap. After that, we'll need a workshop to enable the manufacturing of brand new tools.
Needs improvement. It's not perfect. It has potential for lots of different things, yes. Okay, so the community is actively giving feedback, and the developers can take that or not. Okay. Thank you for your opinion on the situation. It's appreciated. Let's build a second recycler next to the other one, and a workshop. Aha! See, Mikhaos, they've been using the hills and the forests to reproduce. Clever settlers. Okay, so we've got one recycler. A refiner, that's in the workshop probably. That's a good question. Surviving the Aftermath, did you play that as well? Very good question, Bika. Okay, we can assign one worker here and one here. Well, we should be okay with the water stockpiled. There's a free one. Why is it not working? Oh, maybe they're asleep. They need more cloth. That one can go back to cloth. I don't get that. Is that a bug? Hey Badger, welcome back. The forest, scum and mist, and a few other survivals. Yeah, this is more of a builder. Yeah, okay. It would have been super interesting if you had played Surviving the Aftermath. Be sure to check out the video if you're interested in builders like this. Surviving the Aftermath takes a bit of a different approach, but they are very similar looking games. So maybe you might also be interested in that one. But I don't get why nobody's working here. I don't understand. Ah, because... Yeah, okay, I limited it here. This is Refiner Global, and this is per building. Okay, I thought I could force putting them there. So if you click on Workforce, that's in the building. If you click on the building, and then on Workforce, that's a global thing. That's not very clear. I don't think I mean, it's nice to know that you can do that here instead of having to go to the professional screen. But you need to know that before. Yeah, okay. It's good. It's a good function. I like it. What does this mean? Production limit of this resource is reached. Yeah, then we don't need any foresters currently. Perfect. Yeah, it was really good surviving the aftermath. My first impression was really really good one. They shared some qualities with Frostpunk and other games. And Banished comes to mind. Badger, what did you miss? I'm not sure when exactly you left. But Sundered was a good first impression before we started on this one. Low water reserves, yes. Oh, we got water back. Yeah, perfect. So fishing hut. Gotta increase that. Scrap tools, metal tools. What's the difference between those? Advanced tool. Higher durability in order to perform work tasks everywhere. Okay, so we don't really want scrap tools if you can avoid it. Dun, dun, dun. Right, water reserves are going up again.
With our lovely new tools, we are now prepared to work effectively. Should you ever run out of metal, keep in mind that you can also instruct your workshop to manufacture tools from scrap instead of metal. Though they won't be quite as effective, it's still better than being forced to work with bare hands. Down in the Endzone, we had sufficient time and resources to educate ourselves properly. But our children don't have this luxury. We ought to build a school and pass on what we've learned. As a result, they will be able to survive and work better and more effectively.
See, we're nearly done with the hour of looking at this, and the main difference I'm experiencing here between surviving the aftermath and Endzone is that it takes so much longer before anything happens in this game. It's much more about long-term planning, survival, and I think the effect of the environment is more intense. By design, it's not a bad thing as such, but it takes much longer to get somewhere. And yeah, right? I said earlier I nearly regret that I picked the tutorial, because on top of that, the guy is talking so slow, and he's really not funny, or he's not helping. He's really not helping. He does explain everything, but he's not helping the game. He's hindering it. Everybody who clicks tutorial and listens to that guy and also has played Surviving the Aftermath will probably drop this unless they are into hardcore economy building sims. And this game could get people new to the genre in, as Banished also didn't really manage to pull a lot of new people in for similar reasons. Maybe they could learn from each other. But maybe it's not something that can be changed. I don't know really. But I'm having the fastest game speed on in between a lot actually, and they build super fast. It's really nice. It took much longer in Surviving the Aftermath to build a building, but the overall effects are minuscule compared. Yeah, as is it the effect in Banished, right? You have a long-term plan. You have to react to outside influence like weather, shortage of food or something. and in this case also radiation. You have to react to that short term, but you can't risk your long-term survival. So this is much more about planning and making a good system, economy settlement system. So if you're looking for a simulation, this is probably, if they finish it and improve it and don't introduce too many bugs, and give you a fair fighting chance, this is more of the simulation. Surviving the Aftermath is more like, I want to have an apocalypse builder. Yeah, there you go, build, and then you go and build. Yeah, I can ignore the tutorial, of course, but now that I'm in it, I can't. It's really, really good that you can assign people globally here. You see how many people you've got available, your global workforce, how many builders you have. You can set that to 0 to do more important things like build up the forest or make some neck scarves and whatnot. It just confused me that I could influence the global setting from a building. Obviously it makes sense. It saves you the trouble of going... if you look at this, it's like, oh, I'm missing a recycler. And then you would have to go here and increase recycler by 1. So it makes a lot of sense. But if you don't look at the mouse over and it just says workforce, that confused me. It's probably very obvious to everybody else, but that just confused me a bit. That's the only thing I didn't get. So the user interface is very functional. It's not as neat and cute as in Surviving the Aftermath. So presentation here is a bit more down to earth and not as flashy. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if, as soon as both games are released, which one is going to be working better for me, and also which one is going to be more popular, as in, will it be that Surviving the Aftermath, because it speaks to more people more easily, will be the more popular game, and will this one be the core game for fans of simulations and survival? Will it divide the players? Will they be able to play both? Probably not. Like Mikhail said earlier, it's interesting how or Deviatefish, one of you guys said it. It's interesting how sometimes 2 nearly identical games are in development. I like the idea that they have a bet going on. Cup of tea! Fallout needs to get a builder spin-off. Yeah, that bunker thing they did wasn't really grabbing me, so they need to do it properly. You need to make it a builder spin-off where other people can join playing their Fallout. And if they happen to come to your settlement, they play in your settlement. Or people could play multiplayer where they fight for settlements, so settlements can hire players to protect them or do scavenge jobs for them. Probably what you call quests. That's the next level, man. Cup of tea would be nice, yeah. Cup of tea would be nice. Okay, let's build a school very quick. Community, school, school, school. Build it. Quick. We don't have any builders. Quick. Roger. Job done. Job done. Like ants. Busy, 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 busy. Ah, there's the school. Right, now we need a teacher. Ring. Oh, we got 3 grown-ups now. Oh, one of you.
Perfect. Besides the fact that educated children work more effectively, we'll also teach them to be more careful with their protective clothing and tools. This, in turn, leads to them staying intact longer.
Intact.
And we conserve valuable resources.
If anyone wants to pay me to write this tutorial again in a good way, I wouldn't hurt it wouldn't hurt, and I wouldn't feel hurt if you would say, here's some money, and would you do the thing? Where we don't talk about children like they are a log, and if we don't talk about reproduction like it's a secret thing, because the target audience of this game is surely not kids. Holy crap. Oh, they stay intact longer. Of course they stay intact longer. Because all the liquids didn't run out yet. They're not empty inside. Man, that is stupid.
Now that our population is starting to grow, we ought to again turn our attention to the topic of food production.
No.
We are already accumulating.
No. He needs to stop talking. Okay, so the tutorial is really not for me. I like the game. I really like the game. It's the second time I looked at it. The first time I didn't do tutorial. I think it was not in the game yet. It's completely tone deaf, yeah. Oh, music lessons. Yeah, obviously. It's because, yeah, of course. He's a robot. They need to stay intact for our food plans. No, I don't think it's that kind of game. But the game's tone deaf. It's missing. I mean, yes, it's more a simulation. Yes, it's more a builder than Surviving the Aftermath. But man, it barely seems alive. It barely seems alive. Maybe if you ignore tutorial guy and just build your things, it could be better. Oh my god, it feels like it's half dead. Just in the direct comparison. If I wouldn't have played Surviving the Aftermath yesterday, I would say this is like Banished in the Apocalypse. Cool. But I haven't played Banished since I lost my teacher in a cold winter. I'm still grumpy with the game, and that was 5 years ago. No, kidding aside, this is a very promising early access game. But they need to kick in some form of energy if they want to widen their audience, at least. Holy Moses, that was turning me off hard. You need to keep your children intact. Do remember to bring them to the refueling stations known as homes, where there are reproducing parents, if they have privacy. It's just so, just goosebump inducing. But it's a very promising early access game. It has a lot of cool features. We didn't even go as far as having a look at the radiation, how the game handles that. But there are catastrophes, and weather is a big part of this. The soil is a big part of this. So if you do proper farming, you need to take care of your soil, and you take care of nature around you. And it's the long-term thing. It's really... It's very, very good, but it's also very dry in presentation. It doesn't help. Yes, I will. I'll stream this again on another Discovery weekend or a Sunday, as soon as there's meaningful progress with the features. We saw this. They have been working on expeditions which we didn't even see. We did see the scenarios, right? So challenge scenarios, nothing I always want in a game. Might be cool, but you usually play them once or twice and that's it. Survival mode is probably the most, for me, the most interesting thing. The content update is probably in. So settler behavior has been upgraded. It seems like the complexity has gone up since I last played it. In April, the expeditions have been added. I really want to check those out. But I will wait for another update before I go back in with you guys. and we will not do the tutorial. I thought it would be good, because sometimes in a game, if you skip the tutorial in a complex game, I end up streaming 1 hour of me being confused. That's not much better than sitting here and being annoyed by the tutorial at times. I think we still got a decent look at it, how it works, what it offers. If you're interested in this type of game, keep your eyes on it. Put it on the wish list or follow list somewhere, or keep asking me about it every 2 days.